Hi, Duquesne Media. Molly here again. I am a graduate student at Duquesne University, and I'm here interviewing Mohammed Cisse about portfolio building. So, Mo, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, as she said, my name is Mohammed Cisse. I am a Duquesne graduate. I graduated with my master's degree in web design and development, 2018, somewhere in there, 17.
Recently.
Yeah, fairly recently. Currently, I own a creative agency where I kind of applied all the skills that I learned at Duquesne University and do like B2B branding for businesses. We kind of deliver just about any marketing service you're looking for: web design, graphic design, photography, videography, product development, really like anything.
And then did you, before going into that, what was the first job you got right out of school?
So actually, while I was in school, I was working full-time slash an internship kind of position at a local television station, pgctv.org. Started there as an intern, and then they never had a web developer before I designed their website or redesigned it for them. And they were kind of like, well, we don't know how to maintain it, so we got to keep you on. So they kept me working remotely and then kind of stayed there through graduation.
Okay.
I worked there for a bit and then left to go work at ISS. What is that? Institutional Shareholder Solutions as a web developer over there. Did a lot of WordPress work. It was pretty solid. Worked there for about 8 months and then left. Ended up working at the NRECA as a web developer, and I work doing Drupal over there.
Okay. And then how did you present your work to these employers whenever you receive these positions? Did you have a portfolio that you showed them?
100%. Yeah, I had a portfolio. I actually made my portfolio my last year at Duquesne. It was I think I did it for a project or as a project.
And do you still have that portfolio? Are you able to talk about it? How
Yeah,
you built it and what was consisting of that portfolio?
sure. Yeah, I actually do still have it. Here, let me share my screen. All right. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Okay. Oh well, by fate, I happen to click on PGCTV. This is the site that I did for them. My first time ever using WordPress, but kind of put it together. I can actually link to that site currently. Well, actually, let's go back and actually start with the portfolio itself. So here's my portfolio. When creating the portfolio, I knew that like in my time at Duquesne, I picked up an interesting assortment of skills, whether it be being able to, like, I took a photography class. I learned a lot of like animation work. I did web design, obviously, graphic design. So I had to figure out a way to portray all of these skills, with web design being my prominent skill. So I thought to myself, I definitely have to create, like, whatever I create has to be aesthetically pleasing. Also high functionality in terms of like web relation, because that's what you do. So you have to show them that you can do it. While also kind of adding my own like flair to it, you know?
Right.
I didn't necessarily go the super conventional route. I'd say the animation is definitely something that I loved about it.
So you almost showcased your through what you built, and then within that
Exactly.
you compiled some of the work that you created as a student and through internships and put that into the portfolio. Okay, cool.
Yep. Do you remember this? The magazine?
Oh yeah, we did. Mo and I were in graphic design process together. I did a Steeler pamphlet.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, kind of put it together that way. And
Mhm.
uh, ironically, I actually kept this portfolio design concept with the DreamWorks portfolio that we have. So here's our actual DreamWorks site. Um, Pulling up the homepage now. Branding made easy. I thought the same kind of, I used the same thought process in realizing that we're a company that kind of does everything, and you have to be able to like show that. And um, came up with a very like minimalistic kind of concept.
Mhm.
And within the portfolio section specifically, I still kind of use those same cards and like displayed it in that same way.
Right.
Um,
And for those of you that don't know who will be watching, Mo and I do work together. Mo started this business, DreamWorks, the creative agency, and the work shown is are different pieces that we have put together. So I'm a graphic designer. We have photographers, animators. So that's the work that's being shown here. But I see what you mean by you kind of set up the same display. It's very clean and straightforward.
yeah, and it allows you to show many categories at one time. It also has a filtered list, so makes it very like user friendly as well.
Right. So before for your first portfolio, you said you made it with WordPress.
Yeah, both of these were made with WordPress.
And would you say that that's a good route to go for web developers as far as creating a portfolio for themselves? Because for me as a graphic designer, I went the Behance route because that stuff stresses me out and I
Yeah.
don't do very well with WordPress or even Wix or Squarespace. I'm not good at any of those. So that was an easy route for me. But for someone who's trying to showcase their web developing skills, this would be, you would suggest this?
100%. If not WordPress per se, because I mean, web design is like a pretty vast field. But
Mhm.
whatever it is, make sure you have your own .com. That's the key point there, and make sure it's like pretty custom because you're trying to show them that you're a web guru, and the only way to show them is to actually put the skills to the test.
Right. And then as far as organizing goes, we did have a student ask if too much in a portfolio is a thing. Have you ever put out a ton of work and then cut down as time went on and as your experience and skills strengthened with the more work that you had to display?
Yeah, that's what we did with the DreamWorks portfolio. So you initially, I understand you kind of are doing a bunch of projects and you want to put everything out. And then as your skills grow, you can start to wean out the things that don't necessarily match your current skill set. Or even think to yourself, okay, as like whoever's going to be looking at your portfolio, they're really going to spend moments looking at it rather than like a deep dive. So you want to just have your key things there and make sure they see that rather than, get lost in the wash.
Right. Very nice. That's kind of the same gist that Sydney said too. She kind of like just put everything out, like just to say that she like all this work that she had, but as she like worked in with her skill and she kind of focused on more so one area. She kind of like sifted through all of like the fluff
Right.
and went to categorizing and then she went to like really cutting down and then the more work she had, she had a demo video where she had something to see right off the bat. So, I can see like kind of that's the same thing with yours, but also at the same time, the focus is much different with being a web developer
Yeah.
and focusing on is it actually functional? Is it working the way I need it to? It's not just the work I'm showing, it's is it functioning the way I need it to, which seems to be a very important aspect of your portfolio building.
Yeah. 100%. Functionality. It's key.
Responsiveness. That's the only thing I remember from my class.
Yeah, I mean, but that is it. Consumers love that. And if you don't have it, you don't necessarily look the part.
Right. And then as you've been building, I'll ask one more question before we wrap it up.
Okay.
I there was a student that asked, how much is enough when it comes to work samples? I have 3 to 4 each type digital print web. Does it come to a point when you're displaying your work where you try and do an even display of what you have, or do you just put everything out there? How have you organized displaying the different skills that is listed on your portfolio?
That also, I guess, depends. So if I know I am like applying for a job as a web developer, for example, I'm going to make sure I have as much or as many high quality web design examples in there because that's what they're really looking for. The
Right.
rest of your skills would just count to them as fluff. Um, but now, if you're a freelancer just showcasing all of your talents, then yeah, I'd say try to be proportionate. But the goal isn't necessarily to be proportionate; it's to maintain quality. That's the key
Okay.
component to it all.
Good. I agree. And then I should have asked this earlier too. I said that was the last one, but
Yeah.
I'm interested how employers approached you in an interview or after an interview in reference to your portfolio. Did they ask you to go over certain aspects of your portfolio, or did they um, point out anything about your portfolio that stood out to them that possibly landed you the job?
Yeah, most definitely. So in most cases, they do reference your portfolio and like resume right in the interview. And
Mhm.
like I said, a lot of my skills are like unorthodox for a web developer. So they're like, you do camera stuff, like in a lot of cases. So that's a talking point sometimes, or in some cases, like at the NRECA, they like have me traveling sometimes with like as a photographer
Mhm.
or videographer, kind of assisting on those projects as well. So, and
Mhm.
that's actually what I enjoy doing too. So,
Mhm.
um, my portfolio and resume, which highlight both of those things, made that possible.
Right. It really gives you a chance to stand out and be unique and not just show what specifically your skills are as per what you're applying for, but also a chance to show why you're unique and the different things you can bring to the table.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for doing this. This was amazing. The portfolio looks great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can
Thank
work
you.
on it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.